Hello Libra, this is a timeless reading for you and I'm using my own tarot cards. Your reading starts with a card No, then comes Chaos, Lust, God, Fertility and Barrenness. So there are some cards in this reading that don't look very nice, especially in the constellation that they appear, but they're also good cards, and the reading itself gives me a very good and healing vibe. So this heaviness that is coming up here is there to be seen through and to be healed and relieved, which makes me take a look at the bottom of the deck because we have the relief card there. Okay, we are going into that later. Let us first start off with the card No and Chaos and Lust, the first row of your spread. No and Lust immediately made me think like there was some kind of romantic rejection in the past, could even be a long time ago, that even if you're not in a similar situation right now, this is something that you might reflect upon a lot at the moment, or you will soon start to think about these things because there is an understanding at the end waiting for you. This could be something that due to a trauma, you have relived it throughout your life again and again. Like maybe you fell for the wrong people and confused love with lust, or the other way around, lust with love. So this No card speaks of some kind of romantic rejection here that you maybe had to deal with a lot in your life. We have the card Chaos here, and this just makes me feel like there's so much friction about societal topics. There have been things going on in humanity when you go through history that maybe when you think of those things you might feel very triggered. You know, some people, they don't care, they think the past is the past and now everything is fine, depending on which country they were born in which circumstances they live. But you know, some people, they have this kind of worldly pain within them and they feel very emotionally drawn into things that are happening in the world, even if it doesn't affect their own individual personal life. You know, they have a lot of empathy and compassion with people around them or things that happen around them. So there is something about this as well. Also, I feel like it's the other way around, like you realizing something about this chaotic world that will then make you reject a lot of things in the world. You just lose your interest in many things, which sometimes can be a good thing, because I find that especially this one makes us save money, because you know, people spend so much money on things that I personally perceive as very boring and worthless, and I don't know, they fall for all kind of commercials, or they spend a lot of money like with their fake friends and do all kinds of activities that they actually don't really enjoy. They only do it to impress their friends or their fake friends, or you know, like certain TV shows or movies, clothing brands, I don't know, all these things. Like there are so many things. And once you see through a lot of these things, you lose interest in them. When you really see what kind of chaotic energy is behind those things, it makes you, you know, want to just go away. And I feel like this No card is not only you reflecting upon the rejections that, you know, the situations where you were rejected, but also this No card is representing your own energy in this reading, like you being the closed door, not letting stuff come in, into especially this kind of chaotic and superficial energy. You know, I painted them a little bit in these poshy clothes, like, oh, really not handling their own chaos, actually. And this is just you being stonewalling, just being utterly closed, like, no, you're not going to enter me in any way. Energetically, I'm super closed. So this is nice. So that's what I mean. Like, there are some nasty cards coming up in your reading, but it's not a nasty reading. Let me just combine everything somehow. The Chaos or No card, I want to combine it with God, with the God card. So there's a lot of spiritual awareness. There's a lot of spiritual movement in your reading. There is some kind of all pervasiveness. It is also a sort of detachment, just looking at everything, knowing everything, not getting entangled with everything. Especially, it's right below the No card. And now just look at the contrast. Just look at the drawing. The Chaos card looks very chaotic, whereas the God card is quite empty. There's not a lot in there. I mean, it has a lot of messages in it, but I didn't draw a lot. It's structured, whereas this is very messy and scribbled. So this is a very nice energy coming in for you, and next to it we have the Fertility card. So this is not just some earthly fertility. This is a very profound spiritual fertility that's coming in. And I pulled this card in the previous reading already for Aquarius. And I said there also that fertility, like really abundant fertility, can only happen if all the components are right. If everything is there in a proper amount. The earth, the semen, the sprouts, the sun, the rain, the bee spreading the pollen around, the earthworms doing their work. Everything has to be attuned on a proper level. Everything has to be there in a proper amount. If it's too much rain, it's also not good. If it's not enough rain and too much sun, it's also not good. It has to be this perfect synchronicity so that fertility can really happen. And it's again some kind of order that's here in this card, and structure and perfection, just like in the God card. And this perfection and order is the opposite of chaos. Very nice. We have barrenness here. And I don't know, it's also not a card that we want to have in our spread. But when I pulled this card, I immediately felt good about it. I think in like 2 weeks ago in the Libra reading, or 3, I'm not sure, sorry, I'm not sure anymore. Could even be 4 weeks ago. There was some Libra reading where I also pulled this card. I remember that. And I was also saying in this reading, like, this card has to be utterly negative. This could be an energy that you've been in for maybe even 42 months, where you felt like nothing is growing, or, maybe for some of you just 42 weeks, which is also very long. And but the way I drew this card, there is something, even in the driest desert ground, there is this tiny plant already popping out. And this is a very good sign, especially because it's next to the Fertility card. Yet the barrenness card is below the Lust card. And I feel like this is also something that you realize. I said it earlier already, that maybe you are understanding a lot about, even if there is some kind of romantic relationship that you had like 10 years ago and it has been over for quite a while, you might think about it again and realize how empty and barren it actually was, and that there was no real love inside, but just lust. Like, there's something about this topic that is popping up in your reading. So maybe this is something that you want to free yourself from, so that you can have this God and fertility energy coming in, and that you can find the strength to become yourself someone who rejects others. Maybe you were like an open door to everyone for quite a while, and this has caused a lot of chaos. And I think that sexuality is also something, if we are too open to the wrong people, it can cause a lot of chaos in our energy system, and it can leave us very drained. Sexual energy is often, something that negative people, they want to steal it from innocent people. Unfortunately, also, often from naive people. And if we are an open door for these people to enter, then they can, pluck us apart, rip us apart, like there's this cliche thing with the plucking the rose petals, like he or she loves me or not. I was just thinking of that. So this is something you want to see through and say goodbye to. So as I said, we have the relief card at the bottom of the deck. We have trauma. And I feel like on one hand, there is a relief from a specific trauma that you experienced, or several kind of traumas. Pulling the heart that got stuck in the past back into your chest, and cutting off this old situation, saying no to it. There is some kind of completion and perfection in that, and you might even realize that this old trauma caused you to be an open door for chaotic people or chaotic circumstances, and this kind of empty lust and barrenness. We have weight here. It also makes me think of boredom and draws me back to the barrenness card. So for some of you, maybe as I said, for a very long time, you had to wait for some kind of results and changes. You just had to sit in that limbo waiting room where almost nothing is going on. Even here, what is the English word for Uhrzeiger? This, oh my God. Okay, it's petty, sorry. I don't know the English vocabulary. This part of the clock that moves around when the clock is ticking. This is nailed into the clock, so as if like time is just not moving. This feeling. So it feels like this kind of barrenness, but there is relief. There is the first little sprout coming out. We have maturity here. And lack. I feel like this maturity card is telling us that during this time of waiting and seeming barrenness, actually inside there were so many changes in your psychology, in your psyche, in your emotions. Like you matured, even though you thought you were stuck because maybe in your external life you didn't see the results that you wanted, but internally you really underestimated your own maturity process. So maybe that's something that you might realize soon. This lack card, I feel like this is another energy that's coming in. I feel like this is something that you realize about someone else. The way I drew this card, these women are rich, superficial. It's a cliche. They are arguing about this scarf, even though there are so many other scarves here, and she already has a full bag of scarves. So this is like having so much and still not having enough. I feel like this is a person around you. It could even be one of your parents for a few of you, or just, I feel like this is connected to this trauma card here. If it's not parents, it could be someone else in your family. It's some kind of childhood trauma that you're having with this lack person that took something out of you and made you, I don't know, feel drawn towards the wrong people. We have order and soon, very nice. Just a confirmation that this is coming in for you, this God and fertility. The order card, has the same symbol here. It's this divine order. So it's just a confirmation, and soon you will reach this goal. And you might be like this dwarf already looking at the time, very opposingly to the weight card that we had here, where the time is not moving, but now the time is moving quickly, and you know it, you can see it, and you almost reached your goal. So don't worry about those few negative cards. The meaning of your spread is positive, and at the end, oh, it looks messy. At the end, I'm gonna pull some letters and numbers for you, and maybe I can form some words or names, which often is a little bit hard because this set here doesn't have a lot of vowels, or I never pull enough vowels. But maybe you'll find some initials in there, or just numbers that have some meaning for you. We have 3355. Oh, I like that. When numbers are very repetitive, it feels very orderly and structured. Oh, it's very repetitive. Nice. Wait, I want to shift the camera a bit. 7. Oh, that is so nice. And so many numbers. Usually I pull more letters. So 22, 33, 55, 77, and 888. We have also repeating letters. That's a new thing. XX, Q. We have an R, K, U, L. We have either 3 W's, or if we turn around, 3 M's. I and P. Okay, it's very hard to form words or names here, I think. What I'm seeing is mix. I mean, this could mean different things. Lux. I'm not sure if this is some English word or some colloquial English word. Milk. No, it's really hard. I'm not seeing any other words or names here. Maybe you can find something here. I don't. I thought of pimp, but we don't have a second P. Plum. Okay, so maybe you find some meaning for yourself here. I'm just gonna leave it here. Thank you for watching.